Hello everybody, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. It has finished Chelsea 2, Lille 0. But this storyline was kind of not really about the game, I've got to be honest. We'll talk about the game, of course, and we'll talk about Juventus Villarreal briefly. Might I add, briefly. Because, wow, that was probing's the nice way of saying it. Boring's the other way of talking about it. But we can talk about Vlahovic, and I want to hear from you guys here, because I think this is one where I'm going to be a bit more chilled about it, because actually I just want to unpack the Lukaku thing, because there are a few questions here which I want your answers on. Like, no one knows better than Chelsea fans in terms of the feeling around Lukaku, but also how Tuchel deals with these things, how a squad that size will deal with things as well. And so I put that title there. One, because it's provocative, sure. But there's probably some truth in it. It's a funny state of affairs right now for you to buy a player for 90 odd million quid, whatever it was, for him to come in and be set up as this talisman, and for him to be on the bench and not even used. Doesn't feel right, does it? And, you know, when we look at the performance, are Chelsea a better team without Lukaku? That is another thing that we need to talk about. And if that is the case, are they being set up correctly? I think there's a few things here, and I think we can unpack it together. And we'll get there, guys. We'll get there. Haven't got a new camera, don't worry. It's the same camera. So I might have pushed it down a bit. Maybe that's it. Before we get into it, if you are new to the channel, do match reactions all the time. Won't be doing one tomorrow because QPR are playing Blackpool. So I'm not going to be able to do Man United. But normally we do it for all the big games. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. I think I'm actually nearly at 160. If someone can tell me if I've hit 160k, then we can celebrate. That'd be great. But if we haven't, then you guys could be the person who puts us to 160,000. So consider doing that as well if you are feeling generous. Let's break down these games first and foremost, because I thought Lille did all right. My head's cramped. No, we don't want that. There you go. I thought the tactics, and I wanted to show, the stats on both, I think said everything about both games. So this is the game between Chelsea and Lille. Let's do this first. Then we'll talk about Villarreal versus Juventus, and then we'll unpack Lukaku. Because the game itself, obviously, he wasn't in the team. The front three, Pulisic, Ziyech, who went off injured, which actually could be beneficial to someone like Lukaku, strangely, as horrific as that sounds. And, of course, Kai Havertz, who looked really, really lively from the start of the game, I've got to be honest, and got himself his goal. Was it an amazing goal? It was kind of pretty woeful defending, I've got to be honest. But he looked really lively and the goal was coming. But when it comes to the stats, this kind of says it all. The fact that Lille had more shots, but only 2 shots on target. And that was kind of how the game was played out, really. It was one of those where, I think I can show you, here's the positions. I forgot to charge the iPad. The back three, which is what I said I thought they would go to the back three. They were just so comfortable. And for both games, I will call today the huff and puff night of Champions League football, where 2 teams scored early and then there was a lot of huff and puff. And all that huff and puff was coming from Lille in the first half. That said, I thought they played some good stuff at times. But they were trying to go round the outside quite a lot in this game. I do want to just pick out Renato Sanchez for a second. So I don't know how they've given him this kind of ranking. I think it's because he lost the ball more than any other player. But he was putting in so much work. They were looking to get the ball to him all the time. And the most touches for Lille. He was their go-to guy. And I was really, really impressed with him. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Someone buy this guy and get me in the Premier League, because I really, really enjoy watching him. He kind of sees pictures really beautifully, I think. And that sounds so wanky, doesn't it? Sorry about that. But he does. And I think he's a really, really quality player. They sort of gave it a go, but they were always... Chelsea always had them at sort of arm's length throughout the game, I've got to be honest. Let's have a look at those stats though. As I say, with that in mind, you look, 9 shots in total, but 4 of those being on target. When they did want to cut through, they were able to. Lille also played 3 at the back instead of 4. Is that right? Oh, they did play the four at the back. Sorry, they played four at the back. That's what I meant. The other way around. Played four at the back for like the first time ever, which was interesting. They were a bit more open. And they gave it a go. But there was a gap in quality, and it felt like Chelsea were always playing within themselves. And I think that is a massive, massive plus for Chelsea fans, and also the depth of the squad as well. You know, Ruben Loftus-Cheek coming on. There was a couple of injuries there, and you'll need that depth in midfield. Jorginho didn't even have to come on. Lukaku didn't come on. Mason Mount didn't come on in this game. Kennedy didn't come. I mean, don't worry about Kennedy. But yeah, I just think those stats were really kind of painted the picture where Lille sort of had a go and were trying, and it was sort of encouraging, I guess. But at no point did Thiago Silva look rushed really at any time. Those crosses when they were coming in from wide, no one was really able to get on the end of them for them. And they didn't really get anywhere near scoring a goal. I think if the game had progressed and Chelsea come out a little bit more, then maybe. But I think Chelsea with the back three are a really, really tough team to beat. And I think as the tournament progresses, there's absolutely no reason they can't win this trophy again. Because they're so defensively solid. And you watch Thiago Silva and he just walks through games. He's that good. I thought Rudiger was a bit erratic again, which isn't a new thing, but I thought he was a little bit erratic for them. But overall, a really competent, comfortable performance from Chelsea, where they sort of just worked through the gears whenever they needed to. Yeah, nice little comfortable one for them. Yeah, and the momentum bar, I think, suggests exactly that, what we saw, really. And the fact that, you know, the momentum bar, when the bar's really, really high, that means when they were really kind of getting at them. And I think that does totally say all that for large parts of this game, very, very little was going on, if I'm honest, because Chelsea was super comfortable. I thought Pulisic had a really good game, got fouled a hell of a lot. And if he can stay fit, there's a question for you in the chat right now. What is the best front three? I can never say it. Front three for Chelsea. What is the best front three for Chelsea? Is it Pulisic, Havertz, and Ziyech or Mount, or who is it? Let me know. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this after the fact. Just to say, guys, if you could hit the like button, that would be absolutely huge for me. I'd really, really appreciate it. Let's have a look quickly at Villarreal versus Juventus. Juventus scored after 30-odd seconds and then just not defended for their lives, but they were kind of careful and looking to defend that lead, which is completely their prerogative. I've got to say, it was super, super boring to watch as I was watching the two, and listening to the commentary was a chore, I've got to be honest as well. If anyone else was listening to them on BT Sport, I'm clicking on the wrong things here. But again, it was one of those where the tactics played really do tell the story once again. Possession was all down to Villarreal. They were sort of probing. Danjuma playing up front, which was interesting. Moreno obviously didn't start in this one. Danjuma started, and played up front. And Lo Celso played up front kind of as well, sort of an attacking midfielder role. And then Capoue and Pereiro, Queen's Park Rangers legend, sat in midfield. Pereiro had a great game. Capoue had a great game. Great assist for him for the goal. But again, not many shots in this game. A lot of the game being played through the middle third. And I've got to be honest, it was super, super boring. The one difference that I guess that's the thing that could get Juventus through is that bit of quality from Vlahovic, because he's got it, you know. You know, there's those players you're like, don't let him shoot because he's just got this thunderbolt of a strike. And the goal is a real snapshot. It shows the quality he's got. And it kind of puts him in that folklore of being the youngest, the debutant with the earliest goal. Just shows that he's got that, you know, that ability to score from nothing, because it was just a ball over the top and he's had not snapshot, but he's taken it early and put it right in that corner. You do wonder what would have happened. I think someone just said it in the chat there, actually, if Arsenal had got their hands on him. If Arsenal got their hands on Vlahovic, they would be not guaranteed, but they'd be in a really, really good space for the top four. But they didn't. I don't want to talk about Villarreal Juventus too much because, as I say, Juventus were really, really boring. Really, really boring. Sorry, I can't say that enough. But yeah. And Villarreal, huffed and puffed. I think with Emery, the thing with him is that there is always this opportunity that he'll sort of dig something out. And I thought the commentary was poor because they were going, Villarreal aren't creating things. They were controlling the game. They really were controlling the game. And as time progressed, that will break teams down at some point. And if Juventus aren't really offering much in the other end, then it doesn't mean much. Do you know what I mean? Let's get on to the Lukaku thing. Hopefully, guys, you have written down who your front three are. Have we hit 160? Can you just let me know, guys? Because that will be cool. I swear Martin Keown wanted to scrap his co-commentator. Yeah, I wanted to scrap Martin Keown, I think. Yeah, it was mad. I know I'm not great with the names, but he kept calling McKenna. I mean, come on. You're on BT Sport, bro. Honestly, Werner, Havertz, Mount. Wow. Ziyech, Havertz, Mount. A few people saying that. Interesting. We hit it. Woo! We've hit it, guys. Thank you so much. Havertz, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic. Interesting. Pulisic, Havertz, Ziyech. A lot of people saying that. Yes, we got to 160. Buzzing. Thank you very much if you were the person who put us over the line. So let's talk Lukaku, right? So I really want to hear what you've got to say in this chat here, because I do want to sort of have this as a conversation with you guys, if I'm honest. Because when I say... Oh, buzzing with that 160k. Amazing. Thank you so much. The Lukaku thing is odd to me. It is really, really odd to me. It's a strange time for him because strip away the money, and if he's playing for another club, I think they persist with him a little bit more than they are right now. There's so many questions going through my head now as I'm trying to get this out right. First question. That's okay. Here's the basic calm question is, how important was this game? And by that, I mean, how sort of difficult was it in terms of needing your best players? Because, of course, they have got a cup final at the weekend. Lukaku played in the game at the weekend. 7 touches thing, which I think is a redundant stat, if I'm honest, to be honest. I mean, although Havertz did have that, but he's a bit more of a live wire and does get involved that little bit more. But I also think you've got to get the ball to him. He's a striker. We've seen that with so many players over the years. People used to talk about Vardy all the time, barely touches the ball. He still scored 25 goals a season. So, like, you've got to give him these opportunities and chances. So, first of all, the fixtures, because you could go, look, Lille at home, with the quality that we've got in this squad, we should be beating them. So let's have Lukaku for the Premier League game. Let's have Lukaku for the League Cup final. Maybe that's what they were doing. Maybe. But is this a case where maybe it's just one of those where it is the beginning of the end? Because this is Chelsea, and Chelsea don't have to play players, even if they spent loads of money on it. And I've got to say, there's some weird little curse on Chelsea strikers. Name a Chelsea striker that's just been brilliant, like a proper striker. Ones that have come in, like Shevchenko, Torres, Morata, all struggled, right? Werner, that's what he came to be, a proper striker. Really, really struggled. So that's one thing. Abraham didn't totally get the opportunity, if I'm honest. Yeah, Costa's a good shout. Good shout. I got it, Costa. Got it. Costa. Okay, fair enough. Costa and Drogba, but yeah, aside from that, give me this. You've spent a lot of money on players that haven't done it as strikers. I think that's allowed. And Drogba was a long time ago. Come on. But something's not right here, is it? Because Tuchel has an opportunity there to kind of stick with him and go, "You're my guy." And he doesn't want to do that. And there is a bit of a power struggle here because he is talismanic. He is. He speaks his mind, probably a little bit too much. And it's not working, is it? And I think, look, basics are here that they look better. They look more fluent when they play the Pulisic, who's got that zip, who takes those fouls, who's able to drop deep, get on the ball, beat players, cut inside. Havertz has got that ability as well and actually shown more tenacity. Certainly in this game, I think he was like, okay, I've got a chance here. I can put my marker down and be the main man here because, his space is obviously up for grabs. But he has got that size about him and looked really good today. You've also got Mason Mount, right? I think Mason Mount could be the key for this. I wonder if I feel like this might be at the beginning of the end for Lukaku because it just doesn't feel right at all. At all. But we're going to go into this League Cup final, and I wonder if he plays Mason Mount and Lukaku because I feel like Mason Mounto? What the fuck have I just said? Mason Mounto. I think I'm saying Lukaku so much. And I'm having to go to Martin Keown. Jesus. Mason Mount links up quite well with Lukaku and plays a little bit narrower, and it allows Lukaku to thrive that little bit more. And then you could play Pulisic on that left-hand side. But then you've got to drop someone like Havertz. I think that, look, the main thing as well, I just want to say on that game is that get your man of the matches in here, because Kante, once again, it's like he gets told, is this a big game? Yeah, this is a big game. Oh, okay, I'll just go win it for us and I'll dominate. He is just outrageous, especially in these Champions League games. Especially in these Champions League games. I've got Lukaku and I've got Mounto. Amazing. It's late, guys. It's late. It's not nice, though. It's not a nice situation. And Tuchel has put his marker down with the year that he's had, and he can do whatever he wants. I really want to read what you guys have got to say about this before we go, because I'm intrigued to know how you feel about it. Are you bothered about Lukaku? Is there apathy? What's the emotion there now? I think that I get that feeling from you guys that he's really burnt a bridge with that interview, and then he's not scoring goals. And football fans are cutthroat, and they go, well, if you're not scoring goals and you're not behaving in terms of just adoring the club and the party line and all that stuff, then we'll say goodbye to you. And that's why I think it could be, Lukaku swapped for Kane. How do people feel? Like, talk to me, guys. I really want to hear from someone before I go. Like, how do you feel about Lukaku? There's got to be some Chelsea fans in this chat. Got 1,000 people watching right now. Like, if you were a Chelsea fan, how would you feel about this? Ahmed says Lukaku destroyed himself with the interview. I mean, Abraham, you shouldn't have sold him. Like, I stand by that. But, you say that. The depth's there. And Tuchel, like I say, they can win the Champions League because Tuchel can find a way to manage games. And he's got, the thing he's got, which is brilliant, he's got savvy footballers. He's got a lovely mix of savvy footballers and energy. That savviness in Rudiger, Silva, Azpilicueta never lets you down. Jorginho's a savvy, MF. And then, like, the legs of Kante. And it's such a shame. Well, Reece James, you'll get back in time. That will be so helpful for you. It's a shame Chilwell's not there for you. It is a good blend, And that, like, over a league season, no, you're not there yet, are you? And I guess something is missing. But in the Champions League, there's absolutely no reason why they can't do it. Tom Davies, Lukaku will have some impact from now to the end of the season, but I'm not sure he'll hit the levels we thought at the beginning of the season. Do complete apathy towards him, honestly, Dylan says. Wow. Nathan Willock with the super chat. Swap Lukaku for Lyndon Dykes. No, we need his work rate. I mean, I think I probably would take that swap, I'll be honest. Brozier, you're talking about Brozier, and I think he's great, but, like, have Chelsea ever gone, yeah, let's just give the kid a chance? Not really. Certainly not. And in particular, as a striker, that's a very tricky thing to do, in my opinion. A very, very tricky thing to do. But that said, actually, it's not worked the other way. With all this money that you spent on these players, and it's just never worked. Brozier and Tammy, you've got the buyback clause. You could go and do it. Is that going to be that step forward that you need to break that barrier? Because I think all Chelsea fans can also admit that there is that gap. I mean, you've got to figure out how to navigate December and January, and then you'll always be fine. But you always do come round. Finn says, Tuchel loves kids. That's a shame. Why are you saying stuff like that? That seems odd. Chelsea has a curse buying big money strikers. I mean, I have alluded to that fact as well. What do you make of Renato Sanchez? Does he move to a big club soon? Yeah, I think he has to move. I'm intrigued. I'll have to think about this. I think Spurs would be an amazing move for him. Like, in that midfield, I think he could do really, really good things. Really, really good things. Reese says, move Lukaku to midfield and he'll pull a Joe Linton. That's not true. That's not true at all. I don't think he got that stamina. I think he's a bit more durable than Lukaku up top. This is what I mean. Like, it's a really nasty situation. And the bottom line is he's not playing well. And he doesn't have that zip about him. He's a big guy. He's a big striker. And when he's been brilliant with Inter Milan, he's had someone alongside him to work with. And also someone like Brozovic to find him as well. I mean, less so the Brozovic, because you got Jorginho, you got Mount, you got those players and those passers. But I think he needs players around him a little bit more. And the way that they kind of want to play with that false nine to a point in Havertz it's just, something's not right. Something's not right there. I think if he doesn't play in the League Cup final, wow. Because ultimately, you want to be like, put forward your best team and play your best football. Does that best football involve Lukaku this weekend? I think he might have got lucky to a point with the Ziyech thing in terms of calming down the story, although Tuchel doesn't really care. But if you're putting out your best Chelsea 11 now, he's not in it. He's not in it. Anyway, right, guys. Quick super chat before we go. Nathan Will, thank you, mate. Who do you think is the next Prem for the sacking? It's not the best sense. Next Prem, generally the Watford. Probably Hodgson in the summer. Normally the deal, isn't it? Right, guys, we hit 160k. Buzzing with that. Thank you so much. Thank you for getting involved in the chat as well. I'll be doing these again as time goes on. So make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss these lives as well. Hit the like button on your way out and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks again for watching, guys.